I found Apple's implied volatility picture to be really, really interesting lately.
Okay, let me see if I can get something up here. Hold on a second. Go ahead, you keep talking. I'll pull this up. Let me see if I can do this. I'm becoming a Zoom creature. Okay, so we've got an Apple. Let me explain what this is for the folks here. I get to draw too. This is so fun. I use my tools. Okay, so what we have is the red line. Okay, and that's this little guy here. That is historical volatility of the underlying product Apple. Okay, what does that mean? Close to close measures of how Apple moves. There's other measures that you can look at. We're just going to keep this simple, intraday, overnight. We're not going to talk about crazy stuff right now. Let's just keep it close to close. That's this red line here. I've chosen an implied volatility 60. That's a 60-day rolling implied volatility. That's the white line. Now, Dan, do you use 60, 30? Is there a better number for me to click on?
It depends what I'm looking at. I typically look at the 30-day implied.
Okay, then let's do that. Let me get out of here and do 30. So I just clicked off 60. I clicked on 30. So, and by the way, it looks like we got a couple 0 points. So don't pay attention to those. I don't know why those are there, but they're no good. So those would probably be in that range anyhow. Okay, so I got 30 now. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So what's really interesting about volatility, and we can talk a little bit more about this next, maybe if we have time, about the VIX.
Mm-hmm.
But you'll hear people say that that implied volatility can be a directional indicator, and when stocks go up, implied volatility goes down, and that's true about 80% of the time, but not always.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look here, because I think Lex, and trade your platform, excellent.
Yep.
Glad we're using that.
Yep. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I was just going to say, this is, just so that folks know, this yellow line is the stock price. Okay. So I just drew over it so we know what we're talking about. Okay. I forgot to mention that when I was explaining, but go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. So so take a look at that. The white is the implied volatility, and the gold line is the stock price. They move together for, geez, how long is that? I mean, a good month or something like that.
Yeah. So yeah, let me show where we're talking. So this part here, this white part is increasing. Sorry, as the stock's increasing. That's pretty unusual in the industry, in the options trading business. It's not impossible. Obviously, it's doing it here. But what's interesting is that, Apple did split. We know that, right? Volatility went up as Apple went up. Now, you and I know from the trading days that could happen in volatile up moves, right? It could happen, but typically we don't see that. So there's a little disconnect, I think, is what you're saying here. Is that right?
Yeah, it's a disconnect. And for the people who pay attention to this, it points to an opportunity where you would think that people were a lot more likely to believe that Apple would come down, that it was overpriced and overbought because of the split.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay.